Yahweh, Achad. All right. Hey, Shalom, Akyam.
Shalom.
All right, and Akwathim. All right, we would like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honor to our apostles, the great millstone, Ruel, and peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. All right, I'm Zahabi to my right. All right, and today we want to go into a live stream, man, to go into the state of the earth before the judgment. All right, because the earth is always, the people, mankind, is always in a certain state of mind before the Most High wipes them out, man. All right, going back to the time of Genesis, around the 6th chapter, or around the 14th chapter with the events of Sodom. All right, man has always been in a certain state or in a certain spirit before judgment came, man. And now with these new legislations giving rights to trannies, all right, transsexuals, homosexuals, queers, giving rights to transsexuals, homosexuals, queers, all right, they're just indicative, and that's a token that we're in that same time, man, before the judgment, man. All right, that's why I was recording. All right.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 12. And the heavenly Father looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth.
All right, read that again, Bakasha. Car was passing by.
Genesis chapter 6, verse 12. And the heavenly Father looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth.
All flesh had corrupted his way. All right, and that's the point, man. All right, all flesh had corrupted his way, because contrary to popular belief, all right, Adam had received the laws when he was on earth. All right, Jake had received the laws. The Most High gave oral laws on the planet Earth, man. There were laws that governed mankind on the planet Earth. All right, so when it said he corrupted his way, he deviated from the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. All right, it was led off into his own devices. Is there more?
Yeah, verse 13. And the Most High said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me.
Yep.
For the earth is filled with violence through them.
The reason why it's a lot, because the earth is filled with violence through them, man. So that goes to show you that man was at a certain state before a catastrophic event called the Great Flood, all right, took place on the planet Earth, which is the reason why we have 7 separate continents, all right? 7 separate plates, man, all right?
Yep. Now it says, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth.
I will destroy them with the earth. That's why now you have archaeologists digging up fossils of thousands and thousands and thousands of animals and fish and different types of animals dying at the same era. You can't explain that. You should watch the documentary Noah's Ark before the flood.
Yeah, days of Noah.
The days of Noah, man. Because it was, for the most part, biblically accurate, man.
Yep.
All right, we can get Ecclesiastes 7 and 29, I believe. All right.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 29. Lo, this only have I found, that the Most High, Yahweh, have made man upright.
The Most High, Yahweh, made man upright, man. That's why he said he breathed the breath of life into Adam, man. All right, going back to Ecclesiasticus, the 17th chapter, he sealed Adam with instruction. As a matter of fact, but Baba Shah, can you get that, man? Before you get that, can you finish that scripture? All right.
Lo, this only have I found, that the Most High Yahweh have made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions.
See, that's why you queers, you homosexuals, you trannies, all right, you seeketh out a wicked invention, because you think if I'm a man and I like a man and I believe in God, for me to like a man, that's how God made me. I was born this way. But it tells you in Ecclesiastes 7 and 29, the Most High have made man upright, but he's seeking out wicked inventions, man. Homosexuality is a wicked invention. Being a damn stud is a wicked invention. Going to a damn surgeon and getting your sex changed is a wicked invention.
Yep.
That's the same state of mind that man was in before the flood came, man. Y'all got a short-term memory? The average human being on earth is familiar with the concept of the flood. The the antediluvian era, man. All right? The average, ask me why the flood came. Why was it recorded? All right, you got something? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Sirach.
All right. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 17. And where you want to start at?
Let's get to the point. Let me see counsel and tongue and eyes to understand what we thought. It says, let me see. Most I created man on earth, he gave them 4 days, he do it with strength, with fear of our flesh. The 5 operations in the 6th place he imparted them. We started 5.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 17, verse 5. They received the use of the 5 operations of the Lord.
So you can start at 1 and skip to 5.
Okay. Ecclesiasticus chapter 17, verse 1. The Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again.
Yeah, they called Adam, Adama, from the ground, man. All right. And shalom to you, Akim, who are tuning in, man. We are in the ark right now. This is the ark right now, man. This is the ark. All right.
Verse 5. They received the use of the 5 operations of the Lord, and in the 6th place he imparted them understanding.
What was the understanding? The laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, that's the instruction, man. All right.
Can you read it?
Yeah, you can finish it out.
And the 7th speech and interpreter of the conversations thereof.
What was that speech? Hebrew. All right. That's why all those animals that Adam named had Hebrew names, man. All right. The camel is they came from the what? Gamal.
Gamal.
All right, so that's straight. It's coming from the Hebrew. One of those birds is called a call, or I'm mispronouncing it, but it basically goes back to the word call, because when a bird makes a sound, like it's calling for something. All right, but going to show you those all came from Hebrew. Going back to the speech that the Most High imparted Adam was Hebrew, man. All right, but the main point, he gave them understanding, man. All right, because he said he breathed into Adam the breath of life, man. All right, so the Most High gave Adam laws, man. And the further proof on that, I think this is in 2nd Ezra 4. I believe it's in 2nd Ezra 4. You could get it around 20 or something verse. All right, but if it's not there, it's okay. 2nd Ezra 4. All right. Because it basically goes into how Adam transgressed, man. All right. That wasn't a part of my my agenda to bring it out, because I remember reading across it. All right. But you could since we're there, since we're already there, all right. You could.
I mean, I got chapter 3 for you.
Yeah. Okay, you get that.
All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 3, beginning verse 4. O Lord, who bears rule, thou spakest at the beginning, when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee.
Yep. And if you read further on down, I think it's going to go into how he transgressed. All right.
Get into it.
All right, go ahead.
And thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted.
And the breath of life is the law, statutes, and commandments. They were oral law, statutes, and commandments. Because you got to think, we already know that there wasn't just one man on earth. All right, there was a race of men. There was a nation of men. So how do you keep those men civilized? To maintain the earth and to maintain stability. You give them laws. You saw that on the last Planet of the Apes. Was it the one before the last one? When the apes was like in their own element, and they had laws for the apes. Kill, thou not kill, and stuff like that.
That's straight out the scriptures.
That's straight out the scriptures, man. All right.
And thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted, before ever the earth came forward.
And that paradise was the Garden of Eden. All right, because the earth, the earth was like a paradise in itself, but the centralized place was Eden, man. All right, which is now Palestine. All right.
And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way.
Yep.
And unto him thou gavest commandment.
Yep.
To love thy way.
And what was the way? The law, statutes, and commandments. All right. And this is building. What we're reading is building until the time of Noah. See, by the time Noah was here, Adam was already dead. But this is building until the time of Noah, because there was the combination of wickedness that was sown in Adam. All right,
which he transgressed.
Adam transgressed, man. All right, go ahead.
And immediately thou appointest death in him.
Yep.
And in his generations.
Yep.
Of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number.
See, the earth is under the curse of Adam. That's why you have volcanoes, earthquakes. I mean, now it's intense because of Yahweh Shai's return. All right, but the reason why people die horrible deaths and women have labor pains because of what happened with Adam, man. All right.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And every people walked after their own will.
Yep. Hey, and that's the time that we are in now. Every people walked after their own will. That's why you have everybody claiming to believe in the Most High. If they do believe in the Most High, they say. But guess what? The bitch would be a feminist. And I say bitch because a bitch means basically a promiscuous woman. All right? A loud, clamorous woman. So basically they're bitches. All right? But the woman would be a feminist. All right? The man would be a homosexual. All right? But they all go after their own way. We are in a state of time where nobody ascribes themselves to the laws of the Most High. Everybody has a philosophy to justify doing their own will. They use the Most High as a so-called conduit. The concept of God as a conduit to do their own will.
The guys, Satanism.
Yep. Yep. Give me the last part again.
A covering.
It's a covering, man.
And every people walked after their own will.
That's how you know we're at the end. When people on earth started with the elect of Israel, started with the nation of Israel, I'm sorry. Well, the state of mankind is to do after your own will. We're at the end. That means that there's going to be a great event that happens that causes a reset. The first reset was the flood. All right. The second reset was Sodom and Gomorrah, that being destroyed. And now we're heading to that third reset, man. All right.
And did wonderful things before thee.
Yep.
You're doing too much.
Yeah.
And despised thy commandments.
And despised thy commandments.
Showing you back then, during the antediluvian era before the flood, they knew the commandments.
Yep.
They knew about them, And again, in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world.
That was the reset. But the point that we're getting to is the water for that scripture. The point that we're getting into is the state of man before the flood, which is to show you the state of man is no different from the state of man now, which is why we know, according to that right there, we're at the end. We're at the end of Esau's kingdom. Esau's kingdom is the combination of wickedness. His kingdom represents the full manifestation of what happens when you transgress from the laws, starting with that seed that was planted into Adam, man. All right?
Let me get some else.
Oh, if you had some on deck, you could get what you had, then I got another precept for you.
Luke chapter 17, verse 26. And as it was in the days of Noah,
Yep.
so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man.
Yep.
They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage.
Yeah, you have civilization. Because we're in the third world, we're in the first world society. All right, you got weddings. We're out here teaching. You have a full wedding going on. That's how you know it's the spirit, man. Because we're standing in the stand of Noah. It's a straight up wedding. All right, it's a goddamn. It might be a barbecue down the street, or it might be a parade. We're in the days. The Most High set it up like that because it's the days of Noah, man. All right.
Until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all.
See, when Noah entered into the ark, and the Most High used that chariot, the angel, to close the door, that was the end of the warning, because the Most High set up Noah through his spirit to warn the people for 120 years. And starting with Abba Bivens, man. All right, the Most High has been warning you people for over 50 years, man. Going down the elder apostle to us, man. All right, so that's like 50 years of Proverbs 1 and 20.
Yeah, that's an hour of the Most High's time.
That's an hour of the Most High's time, man. So as a matter of fact, can you get Proverbs 1 and 20? If there isn't any more to that.
But I was gonna read some more, but I mean that's the point.
Okay, I mean, bro, it's all on your spirit, bro.
Man, I get Proverbs.
All right.
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom cries without.
Now, we're in the spirit of Noah. That's what Noah was doing. Noah was crying out to those wicked people who had basically deviated from the laws of the Most High, and live the life of living after their own spirit, their own devices. Going back to Ecclesiastes 7:29, the Most High made man upright, but they seeketh out wicked inventions. And I want to repeat that because we live in a time where people have a do us what thou wilt mentality in the name of God. All right?
That's how you know it's the end.
We're at the end. All right?
She uttered her voice in the streets.
Yep. And then she is a personification of wisdom. Been personified as a woman, but there's really the word going out from our mouths through the spirit and power Yahweh Shema Shai. All right?
She cried in the chief place of concourse.
Yeah, these capital cities, these inner cities in which wisdom manifests itself through the prophets, those are the chief place of concourse or commerce. All right?
And the openings of the gates in the city she uttered her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
Yep, how long will you simple ones will you love simplicity, man? Which that was the same thing Noah was doing, man. Our forefather Noah, man, for 120 years while he was building a physical ark. But now we're doing it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai while we're building a spiritual ark. All right?
But simple says naive.
Yep. And naive goes back to no science. No science means no knowledge. All right, what does it say? Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Go ahead.
And the scorners delight in their scorning,
Yep.
and fools hate knowledge.
Fools hate knowledge, and the proof of that, who's out here listening? And if we reverse the camera to show you who's out here, you'll be nobody out here listening. That's proof that fools hate knowledge. All right, go ahead.
Turn you at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded.
Yep.
That reminds you of Noah out there teaching before the flood.
And watch that documentary before the flood. What's it called?
The days of Noah. You got part 1, the flood.
Yeah, the days of Noah, man. They threw a tomato at them. They showed it, man. They were mocking them. Then they had some people who wanted to take heed to Noah, but they were so persuaded by peer pressure that they didn't want to be that one guy that was on Noah's side. Because you have people out here that listen to us, and they'll walk past us and listen, but they had a woman with them. Well, they didn't want to be that one guy that was out here listening to those crazy guys, man.
Yeah. They follow multitude to do evil.
Yep. Yep.
Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have said at not all my counsel and with none of my reproof.
What does it mean when it says you have said at not all my counsel? You basically ignored it. You know?
It says disdain. Disdain, like you said, ignore it, basically.
Yep, like it's insignificant. Yep.
Yeah, man. Because they also said in the documentary, you know, the days of Noah, in part 1, the flood, they said every nail he hit with the hammer while he was building the ark, every nail was a witness unto the people. You know, so that's like a constant warning. It's a constant reminder of what's to come. So that's the prophets, man. You know, in the spirit, we're like that. We do the same thing over and over again, you know, saying the same words.
Yep.
But every video, every live stream, every walk and talk,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Every lesson is a constant reminder,
Yep.
you know, of what's about to happen.
Appreciate it, man. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to finish it off for you. That says, verse 26, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh.
Hey, and that's what's going to happen, man. And the Most High is going to do it through the prophets. Because we're not going to feel sorry for you, man. Because you didn't fear and take heed, man.
Yep.
All right?
When your fear cometh as desolation, let me read that again.
Yep.
When your fear cometh as desolation.
Yeah, because look, when the Most High had Noah to enter into the flood and all the animals came into the flood along with Noah's family and the ark was closed and it started to rain and the Most High opened up the foundations of the deep as long as the floodgates of heaven, all right, and people start to drown, they fear came, man. They fear came, all right? But when the Most High brings martial law and you see the chip, all right, ultimately the missiles, man, your fear gonna come, man. And you're gonna be seeking for the prophets because those were the vessels that had the wisdom, man. But it's gonna be too late, man. All right? You can't say 50 years wasn't enough time.
Many times.
Then we were out here every week for 50 years. All right.
When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, and that's literal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
When distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer.
Yep.
They shall seek me early, but shall not find me.
And you're gonna seek him by searching for the prophets. That's why it says they should be willing in the day of thy power. And it also says that Isaiah 4:1, that 7 women shall seek to one man. Now, when have you seen an Israelite woman just going crazy over an Israelite man that wasn't famous or rich? All right, what is it that's gonna make proud ass Eve look for us? All right, fear. Fear civilizes humans. Fear puts people in check, man. The fear of death puts people in check, man. All right.
And I'm gonna show through the Spirit to land back what the elder is saying, how you're not gonna be able to find the prophets, find voice of the Lord. Amos chapter 5, verse 13. Therefore, the prudent shall keep silence in that time.
Yep.
For it is an evil time.
And we off the clock now. We did our 40 hours. All right, well, after we're done doing the work and the spiritual door closes, all right, which I believe that when the elder Apostle Hart said there'll be no more members in Great Millstone, there was pretty much that spiritual door closing, man. Not saying that you can't be the elect, from outside the camp. I'm not saying that at all. But this spiritual door is pretty much closed, man. All right? So soon when they shut down the internet, we're not going to be out here teaching. The hour of martial law, we're not going to be out here teaching. All right? Mission accomplished. All right? I got 2 more scriptures after you get your scripture.
I mean, spirit change.
So, I think you should get it.
Come. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee.
Yep.
Hide thyself as it were for a little moment.
Yep.
Until the indignation be overpassed.
Yeah, because it started out in a spiritual art, but we're literally going to have spiritually going to have a hedge around us in a time of judgment. Because you got to understand, the judgment is going to come from the angels. So the angels are going to know, all right, who to go to. All right, going back to Ezekiel, what's that, 9?
Yep.
Mark them. All right, and then ultimately we're going to literally be in a chamber when America gets destroyed.
Yep.
And those chambers are as a chariot.
Yep.
All right.
For behold, the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity.
Yep. Hey, because the time of threshing is come, man. Yep. See, the earth, the harvest is here, and the way you know the harvest is here, it's the state of man on planet Earth. Everyone has a philosophy. Ultimately justifies doing what the fuck they want to do.
And it's going to justify their death.
It's going to justify your death, man. All right, you could get Jude, verse 7. Get ready to wrap it up. All right, the state of man is a witness until we are in the hour of judgment. The state of man on the planet Earth right now is a testimony that the Lord is about to bring judgment on earth.
It's crazy because, Jay be looking for a sign.
Yeah.
But that's the sign.
That's the sign. And I have to give credit to the guy, he back in the spirit world, Ben Ami. We don't follow their doctrine as far as literally going back to Israel, but there was one preaching that he did. He was like, people want to know when is the end, but the wickedness on the planet Earth is a sign of the end. All right.
The book of Jude, verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire.
Yep. They were made an example. That happened, and it was recorded to be an example of this is what happens when you deviate from the laws of the Most High. All right, that's why do you think America is not going to be inhabited again? America's going to be destroyed to be an inhabitant of this is the combination. This is the result of the combination of wickedness, man. That's a witness. All right, that's a witness to wickedness and deviating from the laws in the mind of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, this is basically mankind versus his maker. The Most High gave the nation of Israel his laws personally during the time of Moses, but Esau and what he's done to the world, he's influenced the world to just deviate from the mind of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. All right? This is the time of harvest. Like we said earlier, people look for a sign. The wickedness on the planet Earth is a sign. The old heads will tell you that. The old heads will tell you that the wickedness on the planet Earth is basically a sign that the Most High is coming back. All right? You know?
Yeah, I got something else for you.
All right? When mankind moves in a way that is counterproductive to life, that's an obvious sign. If man is with man and woman is with woman, how you gonna reproduce another offspring, man? All right?
All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10. And begin at verse 3. But when the unrighteous went away from her in his anger, talking about Cain, when he he didn't follow wisdom,
Yep.
he perished also in the fury wherewith he murdered his brother.
Yep.
For whose?
Yep. And Cain represents the wickedness, man.
Yep.
Cain represents Esau. Well, Cain came back as Esau. All right.
About violence in the earth.
Yep.
During the time of Noah.
You know?
Ooh, oh man, wow. For whose cause the earth being drowned with the flood. Oh, let me read it. I'm gonna read it again. Read it straight.
That's heavy.
It's Wisdom of Solomon 10:3. But when the unrighteous went away from her in his anger, he perished also in the fury wherewith he murdered his brother.
Yep.
For whose cause the earth being drowned with the flood.
The earth, the wickedness of Cain resulted in the earth being drowned in flood, man. Ain't that something?
It's great to show you there's the same spirit back today.
Yep.
No, you got it, bro.
I'm sorry, because Cain came back as Esau, and now the earth is back under the influence of Cain.
There has to be another reset.
It has to be. Now we're at the time of reset, man. That's heavy, and because the hatred towards Abel is basically the hatred towards the 12 tribes. You know.
Wisdom again preserved it and directed the course of the righteous in the place of wood of small value.
That's talking about Noah using the trees to make wood to build the ark, and the Most High preserving that righteous line of Adam through Noah, man. And that's indicative of the Most High preserving the elect, all right, and the elect, all right, in the time of judgment. This is that spiritual ark, and instead of being an ark to protect us from the flood, is the ark to protect us from the time of Jacob's trouble and ultimately the missiles, man. It's called a hedge, all right?
Verse 5, moreover, the nations in their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous and preserved him blameless unto the Heavenly Father,
Yep.
and kept him strong against his tender compassion toward his son.
Yep.
Talking about Abraham and Isaac.
Yep.
All right, this is the point right here. Verse 6, when the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man, Lot, who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities,
Yep.
of whose wickedness even to this day the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony.
And you know what? Even today, if you go back to where Sodom and Gomorrah was, they said it's a certain sulfur there that's not found anywhere else on the planet Earth, but nothing else grows there. And that's a testimony of the wickedness of Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Going back to what? Jude, the 7th chapter? All right, that's why it was an example.
Verse 7.
Yep. You know, you don't have to get it, but just going back to it. And it's heavy. That was a testimony, man. All right.
They say it's pure sulfur too. It's pure.
Man.
Burning blue flame. It says, and plants bearing fruit that never comes to ripeness, and a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul.
And it's talking about this woman.
Yep.
Hey, remember Lot's wife? If we could close it out with 2nd Ezra 4:30. Okay. You know, you about to get something?
That has 2 Peter.
Okay, so yeah, that'll work.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 5 down to 6, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person.
Hey, spared not the old world. They got this book. I was gonna send it to you. The picture of the book. It's called Atlantis, the Antediluvian World.
Wow.
Yeah, I screenshotted it. It's called Atlantis because everybody thinks that, during the time of Adam, it was kind of primal. Adam's butt naked in the forest or something, man, covering his rod. Nah, basically the closer we were to the Most High, the more advanced civilization was. And the further you are from the Most High, the more you go into a more primitive state, man. All right, that would explain Gad in America. They look like primitive people. Or there's different little primal tribes that was far gone from the original statutes of the Most High. All right.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 5, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah.
Hey, the old world is heavy. The old civilization, because there was a world before this world.
Yeah. Like you said, the old civilization.
The old civilization. And Esau was going into the history and finding out they had more advanced technology then than now. They had batteries. They had batteries post the old world. But you have to understand, Adam had pure understanding, man. If you understand the elements, you have technology.
What they call it, the Baghdad battery?
Yeah, the Baghdad battery.
And that's in the Middle East.
That's in the Middle East. There's no new thing under the sun.
It's crazy because the Lord gonna make Esau old world. Like this gonna be an old world compared to, our kingdom.
It's heavy. So you women is all into America and success and high value bullshit. You better unplug because they remember Lot's wife.
Yep.
That's why it was a woman that looked back, because a lot of you Israelite women are in the spirit of Lot's wife, man. Here it is. You see the warnings and you still want to further yourself in this society, man. All right?
And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
Showing you Noah was a prophet. Noah a preacher of righteousness, man. All right? Because Christianity did a horrible job of depicting what happened in the scriptures, man. Like he wasn't out there prophesizing.
Yeah, they don't show that in these different movies about Noah.
Yeah, they don't show that he was in a civilized world, a structured civilized world prophesizing, man.
Same thing we're doing now.
Same thing we're doing now.
Verse 6, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes.
Sulfur. Like you said, that pure sulfur, that blue flame. To say if your woman, got a job or a career, she going up, but I'm just saying, spiritually, you gotta unplug from this place, man.
Because Lot's wife missed that old lifestyle.
Yeah, she does. Everything that happens in the scriptures is symbolic for something, man. It's a reason why she looked back. All right.
And some of you had said in the sit down we had did is basically how the world gonna know it's the Most High, because he was going to the attributes of the Most High Yahweh, and how he is. Like this is a God thing to do to destroy a world with fire. A God would do that.
A God. Then it says the Most High is a flame of fire.
Yep, they're consuming fire.
He's a consuming fire.
Man, bro. Condemn them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after shall live ungodly.
Yeah, that's an example, man. That's a token of what happens when you go after your own devices. Because to live ungodly means that you go after your own devices. And in every historical moment where the Most High destroyed man, they were living after their own devices, man. All right? Going back to Adam when he transgressed, he was kicked out of the garden, all right? To the time of Noah, to the time of Sodom, to the time of Lot. Our people were living after their own devices, man. Because if you live in someone, earth is like a house. If you live in someone's house, then someone is the Most High. You have to keep the house rules. All right. If I give you my house and you're my son, and I leave, all right. But I have somebody to check on my house, my messengers to check on my house, my angels. They report back to me that you turned my house to a fucking party. In one room, it's a goddamn orgy going on. In another room, it's a goddamn threesome going on. In the living room, y'all smoking weed or popping pills. That's the Most High's earth, and that's what you did to the Most High's earth, man. You want
the whole house out of order.
The whole house out of order. You want to turn the Most High's earth or his house into a fucking freak show, man. All right, he gave us a beautiful house. That's why we got to kick. That's why the Most High is going to get rid of Cain. All right, he's going to be expired. He's going to be deleted from the place of the earth because he's the root of that wickedness.
It's crazy too. Now, although the movie had a lot of, occult symbolism and a lot of things going off, but that movie Mother, starring Jennifer Lawrence, and they had this one man, I believe he's a Jake. They had him playing the Most High, but Jennifer Lawrence, her, and also that house represented the planet Earth. And they showed in the beginning how everything's supposed to be peaceful, and they started inviting people in the house, and the house started getting destroyed. But long story short, the man that was supposed to be the Most High, he ended up burning Jennifer Lawrence. He ended up setting the earth on fire. You know what I'm saying? Everything had to start over. So he woke up in the morning, and there was a totally different woman in bed showing you like it was a new earth.
And that was a good movie, man. Because Esau gonna always put his little thing in it.
Yeah.
But that was a good biblical movie to kind of give a symbolism, to give some of the Most High in a nutshell of his attitude towards the earth, man.
Yeah. He had to burn the house.
He had to burn the house. Start over.
Yep. And it was a new house again after that.
Yep.
Yeah, we can get second Ezra what, bro?
4 and 30. Gonna be it.
All right. Second Ezra chapter 4, verse 30. For the grain of evil seed had been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning.
Yep.
And how much ungodliness hath it brought up unto this time?
Unto this time. So the state of the world is based on the seed of wickedness that was planted into Adam in the beginning, which ultimately the Most High is the master. He's the master craftsman. He created that, man. All right, because he has a grand scheme. He has a grand scheme of eternity, but that gift of eternity has to come with the trial of education of wickedness and righteousness. I think it was our elder Iqua that used to say that all the time, that this was an education of wickedness, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and the change in the worlds, it's by way of pain, man. It's a dramatic, painful transition.
Yep.
But it makes sense because after it's like you said, we're gonna have, centuries and just an eon of peace.
Peace.
So it gotta be painful for right now.
Those
all right.
Labor pains.
Yep, man, them labor pains. Second Ezra 4 and 30. For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness hath it brought up unto this time?
Yep.
And how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come?
And we are at the time of threshing. It's a lot. We are at the time of threshing. And the way with the time of threshing, because the wickedness is at its peak. Like the wickedness at its peak, so it's time to thresh, man. Wickedness was at its peak during the time of Noah. Wickedness was at its peak during the reign of the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, man. And those were highly developed cities like Memphis, Atlanta, Houston, New York. All right, there was those cities back then. All right.
And the Lord, He allows you to feel that ephah, so to speak. Like you read in Zechariah, the 5th chapter, Israel, we had felt that ephah. We had filled that cup up of our wickedness. So the Lord, He put us in a situation we couldn't get out of. The elder Ayathon, he did a beautiful lesson on Zechariah, the 5th chapter. Brothers should watch it. But the Lord brought, Israel, which He went into that. Those two women that was carrying that ephah, they represented the northern and southern kingdom. He brought us to the land of Shinar, which is Babylon the Great, America. And we couldn't get out of this wickedness. That's why the lead is on, was on top of the cup, or on top of the basket. We couldn't get out of it. Same thing with America. You feeling this measure? Well, that tells you in Revelation 18, your wickedness have reached to the heavens, man. But I'm gonna get this for you because you're speaking on that. With the evil seed. This is 2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 37. You know what? Let me start at verse 36. And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seas is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times. And he doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled.
Hey, and now, was it the said measure is fulfilled now?
Yeah.
All right. Because of the wickedness, we are in a time of threshing, man. All right, but did you have any closing statements?
Now that's it. That's it.
All right, well, with that, we hope you brothers were edified. Once again, we want to give all honor and glory to
Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakakwadash.
double honors once again to our apostles of great millstone rule well. Peace and blessings to the house of everything elect. And with that, Abba Baal.
Abba Baal.
Kwame Shalom.
Kwame Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.